them. How are you feeling heading into another AFL season?
Yeah, I guess it's good. It gets a bit easier each year. I think the pre-seasons, the more you get under your belt, but I think we've been pretty lucky. The boys stayed together over the break and trained really well together, so we've come back and I think, as Damien Austin said, we pretty much had to get into games really quickly, so everyone's been really fit, had a good off-season and come back really strong this pre-season.
Last year you had a really good pre-season and it showed early on, and then the season got delayed and you didn't get to make the most of that. Do you feel like you're getting the follow-on from it this year? Like your life was a bit easier for this to stay away?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I only went back down to Melbourne for a week, obviously due to the whole situation. So I've been up in Brisbane the whole time, just pretty much training with the boys. So you can get used to training with them, and the intensity you get used to as well. And as much as you try to go back home or when you train by yourself, it's not the same intensity when you have more people with you. So you can feel it in training, you can feel it in the couple of scratch matches we've had as well. So, but as I said, it's just progressing on from each year. So it's getting a little bit easier, but they're still not pretty.
Cam, it looks like your pre-season schedule might shorten a little bit. You may have the one game instead of the two. What's led you guys have heard, and how are you going to adjust to maybe just having the one game during the season?
Yeah, well, to be honest, that's the first I've actually heard about that. So, but I think as we've done at the training squad, we've tried to get as much gameplay as we can, and I think we had 2 10s on Wednesday, and we'll keep progressing from that. But as I said before, the only thing that's helped us is everyone's come back in really good nick. So we've just got to control what we have been doing, and we've been doing that pretty well. So everyone's really fit, and we've been training well. So yeah.
You guys don't traditionally hold back in your kind of pre-season games. Like I know Jake's normally likes to kind of put the best squad out there because he likes to enter the season with a bit of momentum. Is that going to stay the same this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's important though. Everyone's getting a few more opportunities this year. I think we're going to mix the teams up a little bit and see a couple of different looks. We've got blokes like Kitty Coleman, Tom Berry, and who have had another pre-season and are showing awesome things out here in the track. So you need to make sure to give people like that an opportunity and see how they mix with the rest of the team. So it's exciting to see all these young players come through. Even Sharpie over the last couple of weeks has been really impressive as well. So it's good to get a different mix in through the team as well.
I just saw just before Joe. Just laconically off 2 steps, kick one from 60, sailed through.
Yeah.
You get jealous when you see stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. He's pretty good to watch, Joey. I've been pretty lucky to be out in that forward group with him, and he does some crazy things. His field kicking is unbelievable. He kicks these little 70-metre darts. He's far off the ground, nearly put a hole through your chest. But he's fitting in really well. I think he's enjoying the lifestyle up here, and he really gets along with all the boys. So hopefully we can keep him fit and get him out there, and I think he's going to do some really good things for the club.
The small forwards start to lick their lips at the possibility of, you've got Hippie, you've got Joe, taking all the focus, and you and Charlie might be running riot this season.
Yeah, if we can sneak around the back of a couple of people, that'd be pretty good. But even the practice match the other day, I think Eric had the ball at the top of the 50 and he rolled it and kicked it to Joe, and I was on the other team and I was thinking, geez, if I was the opposition, I think that'd be pretty hard to match up. And so I feel like those two are building their chemistry really well as well. So to have 2 key forwards that are going to work together well at such a young age as well, it's super exciting for the club.
What?
You other guys handed off the contract this year to kind of get to be locked in. Have you gotten the ear of Huey and a few of the guys and said, I've signed?
I'll pester Huey as much as I can to keep him here, but he loves the club, he loves the boys. Hopefully he signs on very soon, but yeah, I think he's enjoying his time up here as well. What
are the things you're trying to improve this year? Last year, when you got your hands on the ball, you had a big impact, but probably your raw numbers weren't what you would have hoped. Are you looking to get your hands on the ball more this year?
Yeah, definitely. I think I feel like when I have the ball, I get an impact. It's just more about obviously getting more of it. And as the fitter I get, and the more confidence I grow throughout, I think that's going to come. So even just having a chance to train with the midfield group this year and doing that more consistently, I feel more comfortable inside and more comfortable out in the training track. And I've probably been working with Dale Tapping and the midfield coach a little bit more this pre-season, which I feel has helped me a lot as well. So, but then again, I still want to have that balance. I want to have the balance to be able to play 2 positions. I want to be able to go down the forward, work with them, and then when I go inside, work with them as well. So, as I said, the more years you get under the belt, the more I guess you know about the footy and the game, and I think I'm still growing as a player, and hopefully it shows this year.
It's a bit of a cliche that small forwards want to go into the midfield. Every pre-season they're saying, I'm going to play more midfield time, but that would be a big goal for you, is to lift the amount of time you play through the middle. Yeah,
definitely. I think, as a club, we've got a lot of players that can roll through there, and I think that's one of our strengths. So if we can do that this year and roll those players through and give opposition different looks through the inside, I think that'll make us a better team and more harder to predict when we play against people.
You've got the best accumulator of the footy in the competition in Lockie here. You bounce any ideas off him or get any advice from him?
Yeah, Lockie helps us all. I guess even, he's been doing a little bit of training here and there, but he's been down to every session with the midfield craft and teaching all the young boys stuff. He's been working with people like Eli Smith and Dev Robinson really, really closely, and I guess when you have one of the best players in the game in your team, yeah, it's pretty hard not to pick his brain. So every chance you get to speak to him and take a few things from his book, it helps a lot, yeah.
You talked about pre-season getting a bit easier for you every year, Cam, but I think every year you've been here, there's been some article pre-season saying you're going to be, if you lift, you're the player that could be the difference for the Lions and things like that. And I think I saw one a week ago. So do you feel like now that you're getting a bit older, you're probably like less, you probably feel the pressure a little bit less with those kinds of expectations on you?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess they always come. I feel like every article in the pre-season is this player's going to do that from that club. I guess the footy's probably a little bit dry in the pre-season, so the media need to find a story to make somewhere. But you know, all I can do is just focus on my footy. I've been doing that for the last 4 years, and I think I'm in a good spot now physically and mentally as well. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying being back at training, and I'm just loving my footy at the moment. So hopefully it can be a good year this year.
Have you done something different in the off-season? Have you adjusted anything from the last 3 years, or have you, being a year older? Anything?
Nah, not really. I think I've just learnt from my first couple of years, and I guess the longer you do it, the more you can take from those experiences. So that's what I've done over the last couple of years, and just keep adding things to your bow, I guess. Even though it's good to go down for a week, see my family in Melbourne, I felt like this year it would be better if I stayed up here and trained with the boys. So, and my family understood that as well. They had loved having me down there for a week, but I pretty much come straight back up here and got to work. So, yeah, we've had unfinished business from last year, and we really want to work towards that.
So that was a sacrifice you made,
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Have you watched the finals games from last year? Are you a player who goes back and watches old games?
Yeah, I haven't really. To be honest, when the season finished, it was such a long year. I think it was just time for me to have a break for a bit. So I haven't gone back and watched it myself. But you know, we spoke about it. We know what we did wrong, and we know what we could have fixed. There are things we're going to try and change this year, and I think we're putting things in place to do that now.
Do you get confidence out of beating Richmond, or you know, or is the loss to Geelong the one that you think about the most?
Yeah, obviously the loss hurts, but last year, we knocked off every single club in the AFL since we've been with Fags, and that was something that we've been aiming to do. So we now know we have the confidence to beat every team in the AFL. I think it's just about making sure we put it in the places each game and each week. It's super exciting. You see, we've got a little board where we can put teams we've beaten and teams we haven't, and we knocked that off last year. So but we just know that we can do that now, and I think it gives us a lot of confidence going into next year.
Just on the last couple of weeks, Cam, it's been a bit of an interesting time for Brisbane as a region as a whole. I guess, do you feel like after last year everything was thrown in this group in terms of bubbles, all these kinds of things? Do you feel like no matter what happens this year, this group's prepared to roll with the punches kind of thing? Especially the last couple of weeks, you guys had to miss training.
Yeah, I guess we've been a pretty adaptable group since I've got here. Obviously, we've been training here. We train sometimes Cooperoo, Morningside, everywhere. So anything that throws at us, we usually take it pretty well. I think it's the way the group is. We're a really bubbly bunch, and we just love being around each other. We love the footy, so we're pretty lucky, I guess. It was pretty tough those 3 days in Brisbane when we didn't have to train, and I feel like it's been tough for everyone in Brisbane, but as a community as well, we stuck together really well, and we're out the other side now, which is good.
Is Neil, you're saying before, you're all sort of, you ogle what he can do on the field, but what about fitting in with you, Blake? Is he different sort of cat? Just give us a bit of feedback on
that. Is that Joey or?
Danaher.
Danaher, yeah, Joey. He's pretty good. I think he's enjoying being up here. I don't think he actually went home after he came up here when he stayed up here when he was playing Preston last year. So he fitted in straight away. I remember the first time he came out, had a couple of beers with us once the trade went through, and got to know us really well. So he's been awesome. It feels like he's sitting in seamlessly. So he's doing very well. Yeah.
And being out of a Melbourne bubble, is he really? You think that's going to help him a lot as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think just being up here, it's a different lifestyle. You go about your footy and you enjoy it up here. So I'm sure down there he would have been doing fine, but up here I feel like he's flourishing, and as most people do when they come up here, they really enjoy the weather and the way the footy is up here and just the city. So we're in a great place, yeah.